If our jobs were romantic partners, what would our relationship status be?
I feel like I'm not ready to commit in a sense, but I'm still like exploring some side passions. I'm still thinking of doing a PhD because I do really like the science part from the BrainsFirst.
For now, I feel like married. But I feel like I'm taken.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe not forever.
Maybe not forever. And I think if
Lucy Pressel and Hannah Whitosel, two neuroscience friends working at BrainsFirst, will explore relationships at work together, all with a touch of neuroscience and psychology.
you know a difficult meeting is coming up, this is going to be a difficult conversation, how do you deal with that?
If you are able to talk about difficult things, it just means you have even more trust and respect for each other, I think, instead of avoiding it.
Have you heard of the 5 love languages before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Or read about a study in the US, and they asked like 200,000 employees, and I think around 47% said words of affirmation. I think the lowest was physical touch, which I think, or I would hope, makes a lot of sense. Do you have plans for Valentine's?
No, it's already in 2 days.
Welcome to the Neurolympics podcast, brought to you by BrainsFirst, the company that helps you make better talent decisions powered by neuroscience. I'm Lucy. I'm the host of the Neurolympics podcast, and I myself have a background in psychology and applied neuroscience. And for today's special episode, I'm really, really happy to have my lovely colleague, Hannah Whitosel, by my side.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Super nice, Hannah. And you're a data scientist at BrainsFirst. And yeah, I'm super excited for our lighthearted conversation.
Me too.
And I was wondering, Hannah, I mean, it's quite, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's the winter blues time. We're already 1.5 months into the year 2025 again. And this is usually, you know, when people experience like a decline of their initial enthusiasm for the new year, a little bit of the winter blues. But how are you feeling in your work setting? Like if your job was a romantic partner, then how would you describe your relationship?
Okay, I would say maybe it's a bit complicated and more casual. I mean, it's also my first job after having graduated university, so I feel like I'm not ready to commit in a sense.
To commit to the job you're
I think
in general, or to
I think I still wanna maybe both. But I'm still like exploring some side passions, like having some other partners as in a relationship setting.
I love it.
So just seeing, is it really what I want to do? Is it like what I want to do in the long term or not? So it's more like exploring right now. So a bit more casual, even though like all my attention, of course, goes here to BrainsFirst, but I'm still like keeping an eye out for other options, ideas, what I want to do.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love your description. And it makes so sense. I mean, what are you thinking of? Like, what else would you like to explore at the moment?
I'm still thinking of also maybe doing a PhD because I did like a research master, so it would like make a lot of sense. And I do really like the science part from the BrainsFirst company. So like I really flourish in like science and academia. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Super sweet.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, I'm also still quite new to the work life, let's say. And I think I feel very like true love for my job at the moment. I'm doing marketing and communications at BrainsFirst, obviously doing the podcast. And I love it because it combines like science, but also creativity. And I feel like I'm learning a lot, but I'm also just like really excited for what's going to come in the future. And I think I'm that person that always stays or wants to stay open towards the future. And for now, I feel very, very committed to what I'm doing, but I'm just so excited for what's to come. For now, I feel like married, but I feel like I'm taken, you know, but,
maybe not forever.
Maybe not forever. And I think if I get married in a romantic setting, I do want to, of course.
Yeah.
I want to stay married forever, but I feel like I'm really truly in love with my job at the moment. But
no, I am as well. Like I enjoy the work I'm doing a lot, but I'm also open for the future. So I really like your answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of the 5 love languages before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's, I think, very popular.
Mhm.
And the 5 love languages, I mean, the name kind of gives it away, describes literally the language someone would need to speak to you in order for you to feel loved and appreciated and valued. So maybe I can briefly run through the 5 love languages. There's words of affirmation. So getting like compliments or like really nice words that make you feel like really loved. Then there's gift. So someone would hand a gift over to you. There's acts of service. So someone would do a favor to you. Then there's physical touch, and there's quality time. And now I was wondering, at work, what is your workplace love language? Like, what makes you feel very appreciated at work?
Yeah. I think it might be 2, actually. I think one thing is really like quality time, that I feel like whenever like I'm doing things and I want to discuss it, or I want to ask some questions, that I feel like I'm welcome to ask and to like talk to people and don't feel like I'm intruding in their busy day or something. So it really makes me feel like respected and appreciated. And then also words of affirmation. Like if I do work and I get like encouragement and like by saying like, oh, you did a good job, it makes me like very motivated to like work even harder and like continue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love that.
True. Yeah, I think for me, and by the way, I looked up or read about a study in the US, and they asked like 200,000 employees, and I think around 47% said words of affirmation as their love language, which I feel like makes sense. Like,
it's just like confirmation that you did a good job, that what you're doing is correct.
Yeah. And I think the lowest was physical touch, which I think, or I would hope, makes a lot of sense because, you don't need, hopefully, I don't know, hugs from your boss to feel good.
Yeah, might not be appropriate.
And gifts were also quite low. So I think the top 3 were words of affirmation, and then quality time and acts of service kind of on the same level. And I feel like for me, it's definitely also words of affirmation. And I feel like this makes sense because also if like someone would, for example, hand you a gift or even do an act of service to you, then you might question like, is this really true? Is this person really doing it because he or she wants to, you know, do you a favor? Or is it maybe also coming out of, okay, I'm doing something good for you, for myself?
Yeah, to feel good about yourself by giving a gift to somebody? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, or more like, you know, an acts of service could be, okay, I do something, like I help you with a project, but it's also beneficial for me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this could be.
So it's not a pure intention.
It's not a pure intention. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you really hand out a compliment or, hey, you did something great, I mean, that's coming more like purely from your heart.
It's very honest.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it feels very honest. Yeah. But when we speak about the job itself, what really makes you love your job? Like what's one thing that you really, really love about your job?
Yeah. So, I mean, as a data scientist, I analyze a lot of data, obviously. And that's just like what I really, really enjoy. Like the analyzing part, it's like you think of like a goal that you want to achieve. You want to know this about the data. And then like, it's kind of like a puzzle you put together. Like, oh, I need this and that. And I want to like, do this analysis. And like, it really, gives me a lot of joy to like explore different options on how to do it and different methods. And having the independence and autonomy here as well to like really try what I want to do and then discuss later if it was good or if I should do something else. It's really nice. Yeah.
Nice. And is it also that do you really enjoy just like diving super deeply into a task? Because I think like you're probably one of the colleagues that has the least meetings, I would say.
That is true.
It's like if I check your calendar,
yeah,
there's not like a lot of meetings in there.
No, I am always in my focus zone. I don't really have meetings, and which is very nice. So I get really like in a flow state when I just like do some coding and then get like results and I want to like know more about it. So yeah, I really do enjoy it. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. How do you in general express a lot of gratitude for your job.
Do you mean like to myself or like to my colleagues? Who do I express gratitude to?
Yeah, I think to yourself. So that because I think maybe as a context, and I think you know what I'm speaking about because we're both German.
Yeah.
I'd say that, or like, I don't like to say that Germans, I think it's true. It's not only what people would say about our culture. We do like to complain sometimes.
Yeah.
I think everyone does, but yeah, Germans do like to complain sometimes. And I think it's just so important that we see the good sides of the job, because I think you can quickly go into this when you speak with someone about your job. It's like you maybe say like one good thing, but you're also like, oh, but this goes wrong and this I don't like, and that my boss did this or my colleague, you know, to kind of rant about it. So how do you make sure you stay like grateful?
Yeah, like I think in general I'm quite like a positive person, so I don't think it's really difficult for me. Like a lot of times when I have been at the office the whole day working really hard and being productive, and then like I'm on my way home and I kind of like reflect in my mind and be like, oh, like I'm very grateful and proud of myself for like being here, being able to do this work. And I feel very accomplished. So like it's just like reflecting, taking like a step back and be like, what did I even do today? And that I'm even like at this place where I am right now. Like I should be like really happy and like be very grateful for this opportunity to be here. So it's just like taking a moment like every day after work or during work when you had like a good meeting or you got like really nice results or something, to just, be grateful, just reflecting in your mind.
Sweet. Yeah. I like this. I think I already do it also, but I think I want to do it a bit more intentionally.
Yeah.
That I do. And it's so, I feel like in Amsterdam, it's quite easy. Like you're always cycling home from work. Like
exactly.
You cycle everywhere.
Get your head free.
You have these like, for me, it's like 20 minutes of cycling and getting fresh air. And there I often listen to music, which by the way, I'm admitting now I would never recommend, because you should put all your focus and your mental resources towards driving and not listening to music on the side. So please don't do it, as I do sometimes. Even though I would only do it with one headphone.
Yeah.
Never both.
And also never noise cancelling.
Exactly. Yeah, that already helps. But I think I do want to take more time of cycling without listening to music or anything, because that's also, on the podcast, we spoke a lot about mind wandering. Yeah. It's when the thoughts can just float freely. And then I think this could be like a really nice reflection.
Yeah, I really love that. Like some daydreaming, like sometimes I intentionally do not put any music, so I can just like think and do these reflections. So that's a very good intention to set. Yeah. Yeah. Just, having your mind be free.
Sweet. And then do you struggle with, because I feel like that could also often stand in the way with being grateful for our jobs, that you compare yourself a lot? Because I think comparison is something that we naturally do a lot in our daily life, but also in the work life. And there's like upward comparison where we compare ourselves to someone perceived in like to have better skill, to be better skilled, or maybe have more experience and being higher up in the hierarchy, or downward comparison, which supposedly makes us feel a little bit better because we compare ourselves to someone perceived as less skilled, maybe not as long in the company as we are, or we are kind of higher up in the hierarchy. Like, do you do that a lot, comparison?
Did you know that 95% of you out there regularly listening to and watching the Neurolympics podcast haven't actually subscribed yet? That's right, 95%, which means you might be one of them. If you love what we're doing here on the Neurolympics podcast, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button today. And here's 3 simple reasons why. You'll never miss an episode, because once you subscribe, we'll send you notifications on a new episode release. It's completely free, all the brain-boosting goodness delivered to you at no cost. And you help us out, because with your support, we can invest even more into our resources, bring you top-tier guests on the podcast, and deliver to you more high-quality content. So go ahead, subscribe now, and make sure your brain stays in the game.
I feel like these days not that much, but I think also just BrainsFirst is quite a small team at the moment. So, and the data team like maybe 3 people. So it's like not that much room for
True.
comparison. And then I also know that I just started. So like, it doesn't really make sense to compare myself to like, Rafik, like the media data scientist, because we just have different experiences. And like, I see it more as an opportunity to learn from him and grow instead of like seeing my own faults. But then like when I was like still studying and like everybody was doing the same thing there, I compared myself more often than I do now, for sure.
And from your study time, like, did you feel good about the comparisons, or did it make you feel less good in the end?
Both. I mean, sometimes, it depends who you compare yourself to and what you strive for as well. Like in my bachelor's, I often compared myself to like other people who were like doing like so many things. They had like maybe like internships, then like a job, and then like another side hustle, like some extra courses. And that I found like very inspiring. But then in my master's, I was more like about life-work balance. So like I want to do everything for my master's and I did it really well. But I was like, I also want to have my free time, pursue my hobbies, spend time with my family and friends. So like it also like your goals shift and then your comparisons shift as well, and how you feel about comparing yourself to the same person from like 5 years ago versus now. Yeah.
So true. And it's true. It makes like, for me, when I try to not compare myself that often, or like try to be intentional about it. But I realize like sometimes it can be really inspiring, or like an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
You know, if you look up to someone, you're like, oh my word, I love what she or he is doing. It's really like a role model. But I think it can also leave us not feeling so good with ourselves, of course, or like, you know, questioning, are we doing things right? Shouldn't we do it better? Or even to stagnation. If we say like, oh yeah, I'm doing it quite well compared to, and then it might also stand in the way of like growing further.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it's a big topic in your life, but
I think these days not anymore. When I was younger, maybe it was more like being more insecure, finding your way. But these days I feel pretty good about it and I don't compare myself too often. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Proud of you. And what about if we look at relationships at work? What meaning do they have to you, and how close do you want them to be? Or do you rather keep like this professional distance at work?
Yeah, like I feel that is something that I'm still like exploring a bit, because I just started working after I graduated last year. So I'm still like pretty new to like this work life. And also because we are German, I think we grew up in a way that's like, you really have to separate work and life. So it was very like professional at work. And I feel like here it's way more casual. So like, in the beginning, I was still trying to find my place. I was also like observing how do people behave here at the workplace, with each other. But I think I learned that I do like close connections at work. It makes me more excited to go to work. It makes me feel like, I can be more myself. I can also like, it's just, it makes work more enjoyable. I think if you can like share things with your colleagues and feel appreciated and feel like you can behave on a friendly level.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think I have the same. Like I naturally love to be really close with people. But I think in the work setting, I mean, of course there is a limit. And I think it's also important to read like intentions a little bit. Like if something might go a bit too, to like where you feel a bit uncomfortable with something or not. But in general, I do really like to be close because, well, first of all, we spend so much time at work.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it takes up kind of the whole day. I especially feel like this in the winter time when you need to push yourself to do something also in the evenings, but then work it's really the center of your life. And it's just nice to feel connected and everything. But also I feel like it's so nice to know what's going on in my colleague's life, not in detail maybe, but just like a little bit, because it also explains like how someone might feel or might act at work. And you can it helps you to interpret, or it helps you to adjust your own behaviors. Like, hey, maybe I need to be a bit more gentle to that colleague because he or she's going through a tough phase. Or, it also helps to evaluate if someone might not be in a good mood, so you don't take it personal. Or maybe you can give a helping hand or do like a favor to someone to make like work life a little bit easier. When I picture myself maybe being in a leadership position later, which I think I strive for, then I also want to know what's going on in people's life in my team.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It just gives you, I want to know the context a bit. And of course, it's everyone's choice also how much he or she, I think, wants to share. But I do like this kind of being close.
Yeah, I think it makes everybody feel more comfortable and like to be themselves. And
Yeah. And to also add, like, I mean, after this episode recording, we're going to go out for dinner with two colleagues.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be cute.
That's also nice to have like these once in a while, like getting together outside of work.
Little activities. We do like talk a lot at work, I think, as well, but it's still always different if you have like it in a more casual setting and you open up a bit more. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
For sure. And how do you deal with difficult conversations at work? Let's say, a difficult meeting is coming up. This is going to be a difficult conversation. Are you that person that's kind of like, we just have to talk about it and it won't stay in the way of the relationship I have with a colleague or with my boss? Or are you afraid of these conversations? Maybe that it might hurt the relationship you have with someone. How do you deal with that?
I think I would probably still be a bit anxious before having these conversations because as I said, like I'm still new to working life, so I don't always know what to expect and how to deal with it. But I think even though I'm a bit anxious about it, I would still like always want to have these conversations because I think it can also like foster the relationship maybe because you like if you are able to talk about difficult things, it just means you have even more trust and respect for each other, I think, instead of avoiding it. And then there's maybe like risk for some drama or whatever. So it's better to like always address this being honest and like on eye level with each other.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to have these conversations and dare to do it.
Yeah. I'm usually not afraid to have these conversations. I think it's always better to speak out things
for sure.
Put it out of the way. But I think I had this at an internship place before where the team was going through a bit of a rough time. And then our team lead, no bad intentions, but I think was just like really, really stressed and under pressure. And so sometimes a bit on a short temper. And there I found it difficult to bring up uncomfortable conversations or things that don't go well because I thought, he's not in a really good, I think, state or really stressed on the edge kind of, have to deliver a lot. And then I was sometimes avoiding it a bit. And I think sometimes it was a better choice.
Yeah.
But sometimes it also wasn't. I think we shouldn't be afraid to bring things up and like of what might happen.
But it is more scary if you can't really predict how they're going to react if they're in a bad mood and all.
Yeah. And I think sometimes also just smart to really, I think it's also a matter of timing. How you communicate things and then when you would bring it up. Like, I don't want to bring up something quite maybe difficult or heavy or that needs a longer solution or like longer time to sit down for a solution when we're approaching a deadline.
Yeah.
Then I would just say, I'm going to shift that meeting like a week later. So I think it's also timing and to read kind of, that's why I like to also kind of know what's going on in other people's or colleagues' lives. Because then you can read it better. So to just think about intentionally maybe when or how to bring it up, but definitely to not avoid it.
Yeah, I guess the setting also matters. Like you can also like have difficult conversations in more casual settings. It doesn't need to be super serious and like confronting. Yeah.
Totally agree. And then I think on a Valentine special, we definitely have to speak about these small acts of kindness. So doing someone a favor or something like really nice. And I was wondering, can you recall like the nicest thing someone did to you at work?
If you finish like a huge project or something and you really like did a lot of good work, then you go for dinner together with your colleagues or these are like the bigger things I think I really enjoyed. So it's kind of like a reward for all the hard work. But also like, I think it's mostly about like the little things in like everyday life. Like, for example, like our colleague Yari, like he often goes for like walks as a break and then he comes back with chocolate and like gives it to everybody like a little piece.
True.
And this is
shout out to you, Yari.
Yeah.
We love that.
We really do. Like it makes it feel so appreciated and seen, and like it's a little treat in the middle of the workday, and like he thought of you like to give you chocolate, or like otherwise just like if somebody asks you, oh, do you want a coffee, and they bring you a coffee or a drink. I think it's about the big things, but mostly about the smaller things like on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and it's so easy. I love that you bring up Yari bringing us chocolate, because it's not a big thing to do. It's like such a kind of small effort, but it makes a big
it's very thoughtful
difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
it's about. I think that's what kind of matters most with these small acts. That it's not even. It's of course nice what you're receiving, for example, the chocolate, but it's even more about the intention. Like, oh, someone thought of me.
Yeah, feeling seen. Yeah,
feeling seen and feeling thought of. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And do you have or what's the nicest compliment someone recently gave to you at work? Do you remember something that really stuck with you?
Well, I think in general, like, that I'm a critical thinker and that I have a lot of curiosity. I think that made me feel very good, because it's really important as like a data scientist to have these abilities, I think. So that made me feel really good. But like one thing that I remember very well is, I recently like explored a bit. I did some exploratory analyses, and then I made like a very nice plot, and it showed some very interesting patterns. And then I got like compliments from other people about it, and like it made me feel very good. And I was like, my work matters. Like that felt very good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. I love that. And if you could do like a small act of kindness to someone today, just picture, then what would it be?
Yeah, just getting a drink for you maybe, or asking if you need anything. Also like telling you that you did a good job. Yeah, something like that.
That's sweet. I like that.
What about you? What would you do?
Yeah, I think I want to be like a bit more attentive to how someone is feeling. And then, for example, I recently noticed like someone in the office had kind of like a rough day. And then to just offer like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? Like and maybe just like let it out for like 5 minutes. I think that's such a small thing you can do. It benefits you. I mean, here in the Neurolympics podcast, we do want to mention that a little physical activity in terms of walking, fresh air, and just taking a break can be really beneficial.
Good for your brain, yeah.
But of course, we don't want to do an act of kindness because it's beneficial to us. But I do want to be more attentive to, you and my other colleagues. Like, and if I notice something, then to just offer, hey, do you need like someone who listens to you? Do you need to get something out? I think that's something really.
That's very sweet. Yeah, that's very important. Simple. Yeah.
And then I was wondering, there's these initiatives by organizations or also universities where they do these acts of kindness on, I think, like a bigger level. Have you heard of the new position of a chief cuddle officer?
I guess it relates to animals, like maybe like a dog or something.
Whoa, yeah.
That would be very cute. Yeah.
Actually, like some organizations, they open up this position and then they get kind of an office dog. I actually don't know how it works. Like someone needs to take care of that dog afterwards, of course.
But I heard about it quite a lot. Like it's really, really nice to have like these like animal assisted care or like something like that.
Yeah. So would you enjoy that at BrainsFirst?
Of course. I wouldn't say no to a dog. I think it would be really great. Like as a break, you can go and like cuddle the dog or play with it a bit. Go for a walk. Yeah.
It would. Actually, now that I think about it, I visited a friend. She's a professional football player in Germany for Eintracht Frankfurt. Shout out. And I visited her, and then I went to pick her up from training. And then one of the players, she had a little puppy, Wilma, such a cute dog. And I noticed like everyone was so happy around Wilma, like just like running around and of course, everyone's like, oh my God, Gucci, so cute. But I did feel like, wow, it made such a difference to have this little puppy at work.
I can imagine.
Or like at the training.
I think also like you can really like, you do not think about work when you cuddle like a dog, right? Because even if you take like other breaks, you still think about work, maybe what you're going to do today. But I think you really have like a break from it.
Yeah.
Might be so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually I don't know if you know about it. I mean, we both studied at the UvA, the University of Amsterdam. But I was so sad because the initiative started when I just finished with the bachelor's. But during exam week, they brought a lot of puppies to like a room. And so it was like announced as, hey, you can take a puppy break to release your stress from in the exam week. And they actually did a study on it, of course. Really focused on research at UvA, but doing really good research. But they found after 10 minutes spending time with these dogs, or like one dog, they saw a really big drop in like heart rate, blood pressure.
Amazing.
And a really like a reduce of stress.
Yeah.
So I
didn't know about the initiative.
Facts.
I would have loved to go. That's such a nice study break.
Right?
It's really great.
I think it would have an effect on me as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would work very hard until that break. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, so Valentine's is coming up in 2 days. And if you have to, let's do that. Let's both commit on something that we'll do, a little act of kindness on Valentine's. What are you going to commit to? One colleague.
Maybe write like a little note. Like I would love getting notes. Just, it doesn't need to be anything big. It's just like a little like, I appreciate you, and just a little unexpected little note.
I love that. I would love to jump onto the, how do you say, wagon of your idea.
Yeah, sure. We can do it together.
Should we do that together?
Sounds good. Okay.
So we take 2 different colleagues.
Yeah.
And then, so there's 2 notes that go out.
Okay.
I love that. that. And we just put it at the desk, and it's kind of unnoticed.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, oh, somebody thought of me. Yeah. Yeah. Cute.
I love that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Sweet. And then is there one last love message that you want to get out to our listeners before we get into the Valentine's?
It's just like one notion that I really like to live by is like how you spend your days, how you spend your life. So it's like just like spend more time doing the things that you love, and spend time with the people that you love, and tell them that you love them, and just don't take life too seriously, and enjoy a bit more.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you have anything?
I think I'll do a neuroscience fact. Speaking about these acts of kindness, when you do someone like, just like something small, like Yari bringing us chocolate, then it releases oxytocin in your brain, and that's known as the love hormone. So when you do that act, it actually makes you feel more connected to the person. And also you feel more love and more happiness and more joy. So I do like this fact because it shows that, and I mean, we have this general saying, like you do something, a favor to someone, you'll get something back, like this reciprocity effect. But I think it gives a different perspective that we give something to someone and we get an immediate response that's positive for us, even though that person isn't doing anything for us. So just that small act of kindness does a favor to us as well. Yeah. Which I think is quite cool.
It's very important. Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. Like it's about the small things.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, thank you, Hannah, for our lovely conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It was really insightful, and I'm excited for Valentine's and also all the other work days that are to follow, because, I think that conversation really sparked some, it feels really good to talk about this and spark some enthusiasm.
It does. Spread some love.
Spread some love. Here's to spreading some love and kindness at the workplace this Valentine's, and of course also the other days that might follow. But just think about this. Happy brains, happy teams. Yeah. Or lives or colleagues. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you loved this conversation as well. We hope you are going to spend your Valentines at work in a really nice way, that it made you to think about how you approach your work and the work days. I want to give you one call to action today. Subscribe to your favorite platform. You can find us under www.brainsfirst.com/podcast, and we're on different platforms. Subscribe to one today, because we would love to see you more frequently on the Neurolympics podcast, so you don't miss out on any of our episodes. And we're excited to see you next time. Until then, enjoy your Valentines, enjoy the rest of your week, and see you next time here on the Neurolympics podcast. Ciao, ciao.